Margaret Mills is a warm and compassionate project worker with Children First, helping children to recover from sexual, emotional and physical abuse and trauma. She has worked with the charity, formerly the Royal Scottish Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children, the RSSPCC, for more than 40 years. She has spent that time making a difference to many children and young people's lives. Margaret left school at age 15 and, while she had always harboured an ambition to work for Dr. Barnardo's, she was too young. Instead, she worked for an Edinburgh family as a mother's help. She was encouraged by her employer to undertake nursery nurse training with Dr. Barnardo's at Ravelrig in Balerno. Once Margaret was of age, she moved to work with older children in the Barnardo village in Essex. On completion of her training, she worked for a number of years in one of their small group homes in Cambridge, where she was known as the children's Scottish auntie. To further her residential career in 1969-1970, Margaret completed a residential childcare course at Langside College in Glasgow. It was during her last term here she spent a day with an RSSPCC woman visitor, and she knew she had found her home and role as a children's champion. She started her career with the RSSPCC in 1971, supporting parents in the care of their children, and pioneered parent support groups within the Borders area. At the time, the charity had the power to bring prosecutions for child abuse. Male staff were inspectors and female staff were visitors. Margaret moved back to the Borders in 1973 as an RSSPCC visitor, and she flourished in the role and the help she could give the families she supported. Within a year, she became one of the first female inspectors within the organisation, taking on a wide range of duties and moving into a lead role in the field of child protection and family assessment. In 1973, Margaret was instrumental in setting up a support group in Galashiels for vulnerable mums and their preschool children. By 1980, she had started another group in Hawick, and these groups gave Margaret and her colleague Bill Dunbar the inspiration to set up the Ettrick Family Resource Centre in 1990. Since then, Margaret has continued to help children and their families, supporting those who have been referred to Children First for a number of reasons, such as sexual, physical or emotional abuse, or because there has been a traumatic event in their family, such as a suicide. She also supports and prepares children to give evidence in court. At the same time, she has continued to play an active community role, running the creche at Kelso North Parish Church and carrying out other church work. She is also president of Broomlands SWRI, making a difference where others have failed. She considers herself privileged to work with young people who have experienced trauma or abuse, and has done so tirelessly to ensure that they have the right and opportunity to access and recovery service and support. After formal work has finished, many young people choose to maintain links with Margaret. Her efforts were recognised in January 2012 when she was awarded an MBE in the New Year's Honours List for her services to children and young people in Scotland. An inspiration to others, Margaret has devoted her life to securing a brighter future for vulnerable children and, in doing so, she epitomises all that a humanitarian should be.